people were living here before, or they just
Yes.
built new houses? Or?
No, they were living. People, Palestinians, they were living here. They had a shops here, as you saw. It's only closed. They were living here. They had like their life here. And some old people, you can ask them, and they can tell you. Like I can remember that when I was praying here. I remember my house here, my grandfather's house here, my father's house here. So people they will live, but after 1994 they kicked them out of the area. They closed. They took the shops. They closed it by military orders. I'll show you where it's allowed to me to walk in China Street and where it's allowed to you to walk as internationals in China Street. And we will go after that to Tel Aviv. Let's go.
If they decide for you to leave and to demolish your house, you have two choices. If the Israeli court decide that, now you have to demolish by yourself. If not, they could come and bring the bulldozer and demolishing your house. You have to pay 63,000 shekel for the bulldozer. Now it's up to you. You can choose.
But if they don't destroy it, they will come. They will do it.
They will do it, but you have to pay money.
And if you don't have any money,
You will be in jail for.
they could change it.
Yeah, of course. مرحبا هلا.
جبت قبل كده الانتفاضة. يعني ما عملهم كانوا بيحاربوا يدافعوا عن أرضهم.
لا بأس لا بأس.
It's very good that the young politician people come to Palestine to discover the situation here in Palestine. If we want to speak about peace, if we want to speak about equality, about fair, we must speak about equal life for both of us, Palestinian and Israelis. And if you are the first time here in Palestine, you must to understand another thing, that we are not two power. We are not two power. We are a nation, we are Palestinian, we don't have army, we don't have airport. Sometimes people ask me about what do you think about bombs? I refuse bombs. Never I accept the bombs inside bus in Israel. But all Palestinians, most of the Palestinians refuse this. But the violence and the occupation and what's happened from the occupation here make some young people go to do this. We refuse this. But the reason, who is the reason? The occupation, the violence, the attack every night to inside the camps.
اليوم امبارح حكيت معي في العيد
يلا يلا بسرعة.
يلا ماشي.
Because they were shooting too much tear gas, they used a machine. It shot 33 tear gas in less than 1 minute. And imagine if they shot it 3 or 4 times, you will find a big cloud of tear gas. And anyone stuck in this cloud, no breath, no air, nothing. You just will fall down. They don't care if it's
they don't
Palestinian, Israeli, Jewish, from foreigners, even if from ministry or something. They don't care. They just saw direct the targets. They just saw targets. We don't know what to say to this. We are coming non-violently, and they are using the violence. So there is something not stable in this. Here, like as you see, the garden with the photo of Bassem, it's a memorial place for him. With that flower in the tear gas, more better than used to. Because it shows this. Yeah, and also the mother of Bassem, 2004, you will see nothing like this. You will see a lot of olive trees. All the olive trees have been cut, and they took it.
In that half of the place, and also it become as the center of the resistance against the occupation, which making it targeted by the daily attack of the occupation. They still attack it, but maybe now it's less than the previous years. Behind that neighborhood there is many streets. The Israeli wanted to enter to the place. As you see, the streets is narrow, so they decided to destroy the houses in order to enter here. They didn't even warn the people. They just attacked the houses with the tanks. This is the picture of the whole family. They called a Shu'bi family. Here you could see the grandfather, the grandmother, the father and the mother, 4 children, and also the mother were pregnant. When they destroyed the house, the ambulance tried to enter to the house. They invaded the ambulance to reach them for 3 days. After 3 days, the people came and they just took the bodies.
And this is lucky people because they have permission. If you are lucky man in Palestine, you have permission to work in Jerusalem. Because there is 7 strong conditions to get the permission. Like your age up 30, you should be married, you should have kids, you should have white list with the Israeli government. About the white list and the black list, if any of your family stay 1 day in Israeli prison, all your family have a black list. Not for 5 or 6 years, it's forever, my friend. These people lucky because they have permission, and these people start coming here at 2 o'clock a.m. And if you look in the iron, they wait more than 4 to 3 hours every day to cross the checkpoint, because inside the checkpoint they fix your fingers, your eyes, your permission. If you have any coins, the machine give the soldier ring, and sometimes you should remove all your clothes. It's suffering people, my friend. Lucky but suffering, you know.
Because we didn't know what's happened. They did speak in the media about the decision to make the wall. Okay, it is immediately curfew and they build it. As you see here, concrete one, 8 meters, and here electricity above of it. And you see the camera in the box.
So, if we weren't there, they can shoot?
No, because you are European.
Yeah, but if
we are
only...
alone, they shoot, sure. Never I come alone here.
Donc face à la problématique du conflit israélo-palestinien, il est illusoire de penser qu'on peut trouver une issue pacifique sans prendre des mesures politiques courageuses. Et à ce titre, l'Union européenne, la communauté internationale, mais aussi la Belgique, a sa responsabilité, a son rôle à jouer pour faire appliquer le droit international. Parallèlement, il est aussi important de continuer à soutenir des actions de solidarité internationale pour pallier les besoins les plus urgents de la population palestinienne. Et donc il y a des agences internationales, mais aussi des syndicats, des ONG tels que Solidarité Socialiste, qui financent, soutiennent des projets concrets sur le terrain, notamment auprès de la jeunesse palestinienne en Cisjordanie et à Gaza, qu'il faut pouvoir continuer à appuyer pour faire en sorte de couvrir ces besoins les plus pressants de la population palestinienne.
Ces dernières années, nous avons rencontré à plusieurs reprises nos camarades des jeunes Meretz et des jeunes Fatah. Les jeunes socialistes ont pris conscience de la complexité du conflit israélo-palestinien. Nous avons donc décidé d'organiser un voyage d'études en Palestine. Il est important que les jeunes s'engagent en faveur de la solidarité internationale. La Palestine a besoin d'un soutien politique. Notre volonté, à travers cette vidéo et cette exposition, est d'expliquer à un public le plus large possible ce que nous avons vu, ce que nous avons vécu, et les rencontres que nous avons faites en Palestine. Ce que nous avons vu est insupportable. Nous sommes convaincus qu'une prise de conscience citoyenne et une mobilisation de la communauté internationale est la seule voie vers une paix durable en Israël et en Palestine.